Well, here we're back. We're getting ready to start covering this aircraft. This is the one that I went through in the beginning of my videos. Here we have the fuselage, which turned out really nice. We have it. We've also got the wing, this wing right here. You watched me build this, so here we go. Now, to get started with this particular thing, this is almost a must anytime you're going to start covering, because there's going to be, as you can see on my fingers, there's a white powder, and we really need to try to get that off the fuse, because that'll hamper us getting our covering to stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this. I'm going to start wiping this fuse down, and don't leave any parts of it unwiped. Just a simple matter of coming in, rubbing the aircraft down. Try to rub it down the best you can. Try to get it all done. The more of it that you get wiped down, the better the job you do. As you can see, the dust it's picking up. Some people like to use a wet cloth and do this. That's to help you on the fuselage and other parts down the line, because you'll have a little bit of scrap that you can use. And now that I've got it wiped down, we're going to start cutting covering. Again, like I said, always stick your cloth back in your package. You can stick it back in here. Not that this is that expensive. I just guess I'm a tightwad. I guess that's why I still build my own airplanes. I can build them the way I want them. I can modify them how I want them. I can make them work in any way that I want them to work. And if I ever happen to have a mishap, or I'm teaching a student, and I could take one of their planes and rebuild it, show them how it's done, that'll start saving them a lot of money in the long run. Because no matter what kind of a crash you have at the field, they can all be rebuilt. It's just how much time you want to devote to it to rebuild them. Again, fold it over, use a clip. This clip it shut and put it away till next time. You're going to want to try to cut the covering approximately 1 inch larger than your surface you're going to cover. Now, just so happens the wing on this one here, just past center, will work out just well. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this down like so. I'm going to leave me approximately 1 inch all the way around. That looks pretty good right there. Take my straight edge. Put it down here on the back side of this covering. Hold it up here fairly straight. X-Acto knife. Rip it across the covering. While I'm here, I might as well just do me 2 of them, because as soon as I get done covering this side, I'm going to want to go cover the other side. So here it's going to be, because you got to have something to hold on to pull. If you happen to get it real short in a particular area, Scotch tape works good. You can stick a piece of Scotch tape on it, and you can use it to pull it tight, because as you heat it and you go to tack it down, you're really going to want your covering to adhere well, and you're also going to want to hold on to it while it cools. All right, we're getting ready to cover this wing. I've already pre-cut the material to come in it. It's about 1 inch larger all the way around. That's so that I can pull it tight when I get to that part of my covering job. We have the material a little long on this end, so it'll overlap. Next sheet I bring up from this side will come up, it'll overlap, giving me a nice seam. My iron is now coming up to temperature. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just tacking the fabric down. Start your corners, push it down where you want it, get your heat on it, tack it, come over, pull it, again tack it down. Give yourself a good 1 inch square of tack everywhere. so it doesn't pull loose whenever you get into the pulling processes. Come down to your other end down here. Okay, again, you want to pull it straight, try to keep the wrinkles out of it. Tack it a little bit. Come to the other side. Tack it again on the edges. Give you your 1-inch roughly square area of tack. Come back, make this side roughly 1 inch. Come to the center. Tug on it just a little bit, but not to where it gets too wrinkly like that. Just, it's a light tack. Over to the other side, pull it. Give it a light tack. Go halfway in between. Do the same thing again. Roughly hitting it. I'm using the tip of my iron. Okay. I'm pulling it again. I'm trying to keep my wrinkles down to a minimum. If you'll see those wrinkles, you might not be able to see them. But I'm pulling them out. I give it another tack here. Now I'm going to go halfway down here on this end. I'm going to pull it and do a light tack. Come to this side, try to pull most of the wrinkles out, give it that heavy tack. You hold on to it for a moment, let the glue cool down so it adheres. Come back, make your tack roughly that 1 inch. Go down between the two. Do the same thing again. Now you can see here why I have this little extra that I've got, so I can pull it while I'm going. Come down, try to keep it as tight as you can. Try to keep your wrinkles down to a minimum. And as you're coming along, you've got all your pieces in place here. Now you can just come on down and seal the edge in between your tacks. You really don't want to try to run over your tacks because you don't want them to let go till you get this all done. And as you can see, it's starting to adhere well. It's starting to lay down well. Come in between. Come to the front edge, do the same thing. Come in between, try to get it all ironed down. Really what you're trying to do though is it's like a drum skin. You're just trying to get it all ironed down nice before you hit the center. I'll pull it tight here. I'm going to tack it down across this edge. And if you can see, I'm going on a 45 to glue it right down to the edge. And I'm going to come back and bring the heat in a little bit. And then I'll start to adhere it down to this cap spar. I'm going to bounce right back over to this side. Basically do the same thing. Pull it down. Tack it down. Continue to tack it down. Go in between, continue to tack it down, and just keep myself moving right along, getting in between. And once you've got all your edges rolled, I like that word. Once you get the whole edge sealed, you slowly back and forth, just roll your monocoat around, or covering. This isn't monocoat, this is from Hobby King. You just roll that edge around and make it look that pretty. And then you come back, you can see I've started some wrinkles here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it as I heat it. And as I do, I iron the wrinkles out. And continue to pull, continue to iron. And you can pull every one of those wrinkles right out of it. Between the heat, which shrinks this covering, and the heat that activates the glue that's under it, you really wind up with a nice edge here. Come to the back side, do basically the same thing. Now you're going to find that you've got these little crevices like here, where your monocoat's going to have to go in two directions. One way to do it is to cut it square, fold this around, and then come back with a cover piece. One way. Another way is to go with a diagonal 45. That's my normal way. And then I still have to come back with a small cover piece. But that'll let me roll this around and let me roll this around so that this edge in here has got good monocoat coverage. And all I have to really cover is here in between them. Let's see if I can demonstrate. There it comes. You're pulling it down, you're tacking it down while you're pulling. Covering is like an art. First couple of times you do it, you'll learn so many tricks, so many ways to make your model look nice, so that if you're ever repairing one of your aircraft, you can make it look like it's never been damaged. And you walk it back out to the field after it's had a major crash or something that's all repaired. And people, oh, you bought a new one. No, just had to fix the old one. Now, to some people, buying a new one is the option. Not to me, not as easy as they are to repair. And you can repair one a lot faster and you get another one ready to go in the air. And once you got your covering all down and you're happy with it being down onto your wood, you can see the heat discolor. And as I move the iron off, it comes back. I'm gluing it down to the edges. Now I want to come across my cap strips. And once I've got my cap strips down, just lightly bring your iron back and forth. Continue to get your monocoat stuck down. Get your wrinkles pulled out of it. Just take your time, work them out. They'll all come out. Sorry, it's kind of hard to get the camera to be on center, but I kind of have to use my body and my arm to help me hold this tight while I'm doing this. So it's not exactly in the center frame. Do the best I can. But the main thing is to show you how to monocoat. Now on the wingtip, I'm going to spin this around. On the wingtip, you're going to do just like you did the bottom of the wing. You're going to take and iron it, tack it, give the glue a second or two to cool down so it'll hold. And if you can pull it nice, you can heat it. Pull most of the wrinkles out before you get it with the heat. Come up to your tip. Come up to the tip, just keep pulling. And you can pull it round. And you can make it look like $1,000,000 here. Just keep pulling. And from here, just roll your edge. Just roll it around so that whenever you cut it off, you can come back and you get a really nice looking wingtip like that. And as you can see, you get a really nice looking edge. So the next thing to do is to cut your extra monocoat off, and then roll your edge down. Just make sure you seal it well. Once you get it all ironed off, come back with your iron. Seal your edges. Make sure they're sealed down. Do the old thumb roll test. Roll your thumb up, make sure that edge is staying intact and well adhered to the balsa. I'll trim the back up now and do the same thing. Always like to double check, make sure that I've sealed it down well. Come back, roll that edge down, make sure that it rolls down well. Now with my 45 that I told you that I do in this corner here, this is where my aileron's going to go. Always take a piece. Now if you have small pieces to start with, put this in first. It does a nice better job. It's easier to clean up, easier to cut. Come down, trim up your edges, make it nice. Make sure it's all sealed down. Just go out to the wingtip. We'll come around now here at the wing. Should I pull it? Probably have my fat head in the way, I just realized that. Trim it round. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not on the camera, but you can see there that it's rolling under my fin. That's what I was referring to as a roll test. That tells me that edge is not down well. If you're flying nitro, that's a good way to get fuel underneath your cover and cause premature failure. With electric, it's not so bad, but it will start to pull loose just from the normal wind that it catches in the air. Go ahead and you cut this all free. Come back with your iron, seal the edge up. And that gives you a covering job that is more than well worth it. Finish ironing out what little few wrinkles you may have. As you can see how nice that turns out. That's really pretty. Gives you a really nice edge. And you'll see places you want to come back and double fix as you're going along. But that's the nice thing about covering it yourself. I mean, you not only can you do your own model, You can repair your own model, and you can fix any little blemishes that might transpire. Now, sometimes you'll see that they have holes in wings and such. In my next videos where I'm repairing small aircraft, I'll be showing you how I go about cutting it out, how I go about repairing it, and you can get, it'll be your opinion on how well it looks after I get done. But there is one half of the wing. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other half of the wing over here, and I'm going to speed up the video.